introduce yourself to the microphone.
Okay, yeah. Hi, my name is Rob Edwards, R-O-B, Edwards, E-D-W-A-R-D-S.
Right on. We were talking a little bit off mic.
Yes.
We talked about how you wrote a little movie. Happens to be a very awesome sequel to Captain America.
Yeah, right.
So
Tiny little.
yeah. Tell us a little bit about that experience. We'll definitely get into King of Kings, but
Yes.
yeah, I'd like to hear a little bit more about this crazy movie you made.
Yeah.
That kind of responsibility to deal with such an awesome property. It's got to be a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, yeah, Captain America: Brave New World. I love Marvel. I have always loved it. When I was a tiny, when I could read, I think I learned how to read on Marvel comic books. There was a comic book store about a half block away from me when I was growing up, and every day we were in that store, just kind of scouring everything. So when Marvel called, actually first they called a couple of other projects, and then when we were all quarantined, they said, "Hey Rob, this one is, let's go." And I ran around the house screaming like a like a crazy person, and we got to work. And those guys are amazing. They are the A team. If you reference offhand any Marvel comic book from any era, page number, whatever, they all know. They all know every single comic book. So it's a great world of geeks, and I couldn't have been happier with the results or the process.
What comics did you read growing up?
Oh man, first and foremost, of course, Spider-Man. And from there probably, I think that I was a boring kid, so Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, and I go from there, then just kind of experimenting and going off the rails and looking at some of the other ones, but really, like, if there was not a Spider-Man, on my shelf, something had gone terribly wrong. Yeah.
As far as I know, because I have not seen the movie, we already talked about that.
Oh, wait, in fact, I just want to tell this quick story. My brother broke his arm pretending to be Spider-Man. That's how Spider-Man-y we were. He was he was climbing the wall in the bathroom, and he got to the towel rack. Whatever.
No way.
Bam, broke his arm. Yeah. So singing the song. Yeah. So that's how Spider-Man the Edwards household was.
Well, I haven't seen that movie yet, but I'm going to see it, I promise. I'm excited about seeing it.
Yes.
As far as I know, there's no Spider-Man in there, but again,
Yeah, no,
sure.
yeah,
So,
spoilers.
all right. So, who in that movie? What character were you excited to write for?
Thaddeus Ross.
Oh, really?
Yes, I think so. I think that first Sam Wilson, taking that on was huge. Before that, of course, I've written Princess and the Frog and Treasure Planet, and so I was used to working with huge iconic characters, and so that was fun. But the idea of Sam Stearns, very much so. Like, what is it like to be the smartest person in the universe? That's huge. And then just Thaddeus Ross. And I think what's fun about the movie, you see, is that it is three people who believe themselves to be right. There are three main characters in it, and they converge and entertaining things out. So
Did you know that Harrison Ford was going to do this before you took on the project? And how did you feel after you found out?
that was the thing, is that it originally was not, and then it was unfortunate. We got the unfortunate news. Previous actor died, and then it was grim, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, guess who wants to play the character?
Like Indiana Jones does.
What? What? And I couldn't be a bigger fan of Harrison Ford. He's just been in every amazing movie, from my childhood, from my adult life, and he's spectacular in this. He's really just a gem.
He can be a little crotchety sometimes, but I was at the San Diego Comic Con Hall H last year.
Oh, okay.
And he came out. Were you there for this?
Kevin sent me the film of it. I was not there in the hall.
Because he was energetic,
Yes.
loud. He was. I've never seen him that way on any interview, any press thing. So it sounded like he was super into this project.
Yes, he was. Yes, exactly. That was great to see too. He commits. He's amazing. I mean, there's a reason why the guy's amazing.
When we're watching that particular film and we see him in there, are there parts of it that he brought that you didn't write that were Harrison Ford? Well, like, oh, that's the guy.
Yeah. Well, my draft I was the original writer, so I wrote the first. And then there were people who were on set with him who got to kind of work with him on his stuff, so I can't really speak to anything about that. And I know that Julius, that everybody took, everybody had a piece of it. Yeah, like I said, I can't really speak to that, but I know that it was like, oh, can't imagine a better, performer or a better approach to it.
All right. I think it's the time to get to King of Kings.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Okay. So yes, obviously this is a big project. I mean, you're talking about Jesus here.
Yeah, right.
The world's first superhero.
Yet another.
Yeah, so the guy can walk on water. So I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's it
Literally
like? I mean,
is.
this is a big switch of gears here, and at the same time, it's kind of not.
It is not. I mean, it is a. It's always a high. What I like are projects that are a little bit of a high wire act. High risk, high reward. So, and this one has that, which is that I have I'm a lay reader at my church, and I've always been pretty Bible-y myself. I had kind of takes on these characters before they even approached me, and I wanted to do a project like this after writing Princess and the Frog, which is very kind of faithful. Wish upon a star, but it's what the allegory is. This one came around, and I just loved the approach that Jay wanted to take, which was that every time you see these movies, they're always, you get to the end and you're like, you can't let your kid watch it. And you send them from the room. And he wanted to tell a story that a kid could enjoy. The grandma and grandson and mom and dad could enjoy equally. And this is that. So it's got humor, it's beautiful shot, amazingly cast, and I think that it pays off on everything that you want it to be.
There's the added bonus of not only being a Bible story, Christian story,
Yes.
but it also happens to be a Dickens story.
Yes.
So another superstar writer.
Oh yeah.
So what was it like, kind of mixing these two things? And, you're on the shoulders of some big IP.
Yeah, right.
All right. So what's up here?
Well, what's great is every time you look at stuff like that, it's like, oh, this could be is this a disadvantage or an advantage? And with something like that, it was a tremendous advantage because Charles Dickens telling the story to his son Walter gave us license to tell the story in the way we wanted to tell it, and even visually. So even when we get to the end, it's engaging, but it's not gruesome, and it's because Dickens himself has a sense of humor. He can joke around with his kid, and because he has a big heart, he's telling it in that way because he wants to inspire his son. It is inspiring, and so that is good. So never look at it like oh no, it's what a terrible crutch we have that Dickens is a character. No, it's a tremendous advantage, and Kenneth Branagh plays him beautifully.
So just a follow up on the Dickens. Obviously, he died in like 1870.
Yes.
So, as a screenwriter, picking that particular one, was there a lot of reference material that you were able to go through the archives on how he wrote the stories?
Well, there were, yes, because he had been doing performances. In fact, the movie opens with him telling Christmas Carol, and which he would do as a one-man show, to audiences. And I believe it is written almost that way. I have friends who do it as a one-man show, and so that is, we have so much information about the way he told stories, the way he was, and him as a storyteller. Also, Kenneth Branagh had already done a bunch of projects where he plays, Dickens. So we had that. So he had an approach to it. And so yeah, so it was clear sailing. The rest of it was, a little bit of license, but not too much because he existed and told great stories in a great way.
I bought a leather-bound Christmas Carol at a Kinko's before it switched.
Oh my goodness!
It was on clearance after Christmas for like $3.
Oh wow!
I pretty much read it every year.
Yes,
and I can vouch that it's mostly dialogue.
it is.
It goes really fast.
Yes.
It's like 80 pages, maybe, I don't know, but it's really quick.
Yeah.
It's really, so yeah.
No,
that must
my
have been something
my
else.
college roommate reads it every year to a bunch of kids,
Yeah.
and it is the most fun he has. He will just, and he does all the characters and everything. And I think it is. Yeah, you're right. It's written like that.
Yeah, it's almost like a script.
Yes.
Yeah. We were actually talking a little earlier about the responsibility of and maybe the danger of tiptoeing into a Christian property theme or whatever.
Right.
Were you concerned about with any of that, or is it just noise?
Not for me. I mean, it's always just noise, right? Like, don't do black princesses. Don't touch my Captain America. You're always kind of, like you say, high risk, high reward. You're always in those areas. And this was one where I think people are right to be careful to say, like, are you guys for real? Are you guys going to make fun of it, or you guys whatever? And we are extremely reverent, extremely respectful of the characters, all of them. And so you have that. And then the other part of it is be entertaining and bring it to the audience. Let it do what it's going to do. And so Jang's approach is well seen. He's directed just magnificently. Woosh's cinematography is I don't know if you've seen the trailer or whatever, but it's just like every frame of it is a painting. And so you have that, but I think if you are, even in the Marvel universe, people like me as a kid, you really live and die on these characters. You really respect them. You really don't want people to go just kind of mincing around and Batmaning them up, and making fools of, making fun of the characters. You want people to take them as seriously as you do.
It's hard to match what other people can interpret.
Yes.
The real Captain America, the real Jesus.
Yeah, and somebody's gonna. I mean, there's always somebody who's gonna say, "Well, you should have done this. You should have done that." But by and large, we're true to. We had a North Star. And we were true to it.
Were you raised heavy Christian?
Yeah, I'm Episcopalian. My mom was
that kind of counts. We're Catholic.
My dad was a deacon. My mom was a lay reader. I was an acolyte. I became a reader at my church, a lay reader at my church. Generally a good person, whatever.
We try.
Yeah. And as a storyteller, it's always like, well, here's the most famous book in the world. You should, if you're going to write movies or whatever, get to know that thing. What is great about it, and really get intimate with it. And then as a person of faith, like, you're telling a great story, a great person, a great story ever told. Don't mess it up. And that part of it, that part of it is the most important part. That whether you're a Christian or not, you should be able to sit down and watch it and go like, oh, this is a great movie. I may may or may not believe the things that happen in it, but wow, if I believe that a guy can get pelted by gamma rays, and, and turn into something, I should believe that a guy can, whatever, turn into
Were there, what did you find similar between writing for superheroes and writing for Jesus, for a biblical figure?
Yeah, I do think that it's mostly about. It's mostly about what we were doing with Captain America: Brave New World was grounding it as much as humanly possible. So it has more to do with like Day of the Jackal and some of those great 70s paranoid movies. Marathon Men, 3 Days of Condor, The Conversation. Those classics, and you try to ground it as much as humanly possible. Same is true here, where you try to find the real. With King of Kings, you try to say like, okay, well, what was this character really going through? Pontius Pilate, right? He's saying, wow, this kid, Jesus, is really getting a bum rap. He's just teaching. And okay, well, let me let him off the hook. Here's Barabbas. Barabbas is a serial killer, whatever. He's a very, very, very bad man. Obviously, the crowd is gonna take Jesus, let him off the hook, and they're gonna, and we're gonna get to crucify Barabbas, which is what we want to do anyway. And when the crowd turns, he's in a position, as any human being is. What do you do, right? Same with Sam Stern's leader, of like, I want to do the right thing. Thaddeus Ross is a bad man, and I want to expose him. What do I do? Well, I do bad things, but it's grounded in a reality at first. I love my dad, and I want to start a restaurant. So I'm going to kiss this frog. Oh no, now what? And so everything that happens from then, you have to filter it through your own kind of heart, and just try to make it as entertaining and believable as possible. And that's the key.
Well, as far as the writing process, when you first got this project, how long does it take for you to actually like have a final draft of what you're gonna?
Well, with something like this, it's without giving away trade secrets. I mean, it takes as long as it takes. That there are a lot of different avenues. Once you start with the idea, there are a lot of different avenues to take, and so you are exploring a lot of things, and you're going through whatever. They're painstakingly detailed in how you break the stories, and you're trying to be right by the source material, and trying to kind of go through the libraries and find as much of those gems as you can to break the story. But anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Somebody else do